We now know what a full Jurassic Rebirth update could be for Jurassic Live, thanks to there being now 8 creatures in the data mine that are part of Rebirth. So first is Spino, and that is because a Spino badge from Rebirth got revealed, and it's the second Spino, so it makes me wonder, are all Spinos coming in? Could we get all 3? And if so, how? We know they name creatures if there's multiple, so will these Spinos have names like Spike, Stripe, you know, all those? And we are also getting a Rebirth jungle arena. According to the data mine, it is called Rebirth Jungle, I do believe. So really cool. It's been like 5 years since we've gotten a whole new arena. This one is just going to be so awesome. Based on the trailer, what we see in terms of jungle, most of it is like a swamp area or water. You know, I think when we're in the Titanosaurus area, there's kind of like a jungle sort of thing. So I think it might be around those areas or the cliffs, you know. But there's also been a D-Rex hybrid revealed to be coming to Jurassic Live. This is one of the other 2 things. And then there's a bonus 6 things I still want to talk about. So this hybrid is called Tyrannoce. So obviously, you know, D-Rex being a mutant T-Rex has got its hybrid having Tyranno in the name. And how do we know it's D-Rex? Well, the data miners figured out it's on the same rig as D-Rex. It's not on a T-Rex rig. So if it was going to be a T-Rex hybrid, it would be on the T-Rex rig, but it's not. It's on something else of a legendary or unique rig. I'm not too sure, but if that's the case, this could be an Apex hybrid. And my main thing is thinking it's going to be fused with Dracoceratosaurus. So Ceratoc, which would be so awesome because the ProC fusing with D-Rex is just going to be like so good for me, basically, because it's like a ProC hybrid, super hybrid. But yeah, I think that's the main thing that might fuse into it. But what does this mean for D-Rex? What rarity will it be? Because either the hybrid is going to be unique or Apex. So I'm thinking D-Rex is either going to be legendary or unique. Unique would totally be satisfactory for this thing so that it can make its appearance in the meta. I think, you know, Ludi is going to make an entirely new model for it. Obviously, you can't really put on anything else. It's got 6 limbs and whatnot. Has to be something new. So I'm thinking unique is most likely. So obviously with Tyrannoce, we can try and figure out this stuff because there is only one hybrid for it so far. So maybe that's the end of the line being Apex. And, you know, sure, Dracoceratosaurus is my most hopeful option because that's the only unique with CE in its name that doesn't have a hybrid. But there are others, like Gigant Spinoceratops does have a hybrid, Alberto Sevia does have a hybrid, and Alankyloceratops does have a hybrid, but those could fuse with it, you know? Anyway, Aquilops Epic, we have talked about before, and it hasn't gotten any hybrids mentioned, but there is actually an Aquilops hybrid in the Jurassic franchise that was meant to be canon, and I want to talk about that because I think that could make its way into the game. So first, I think we will get Ouranops. Now this is not canon in the franchise yet, but the hybrid of Ouranops, which is a hybrid of Aquilops, is canon. So this would fuse with Ouranosaurus and Aquilops basically, and I think, you know, they would still want to use the Aquilops model, so they'll give it a sail on its back. But the hybrid that is canon is Aquilops plus Ouranosaurus plus Pachycephalosaurus. That was originally meant to appear in Camp Cretaceous. There's concept art for it. I probably put it up on screen. So yeah, you could fuse Ouranops as a legendary with the epic Pachycephalosaurus to make a unique Ouranocephalops, maybe. I think that could be cool. But we do also know Titanosaurus is incoming with 3 hybrids. So that basically confirms Titanosaurus is an epic. You know, because if you think about it, it's got 3 hybrids. So you go up 1 rarity for the next, you've got legendary. You go up 1 rarity for the other, you've got unique. And then you go up 1 rarity, you've got Apex, which is, you know, the final rarity. You can't go higher than that. Sure, we've got Omega, but those start at like level 1 and you can't hybridize them or anything. There's no Omega hybrids yet. There could be, you never know. But I think they're going to stick to unique and Apex as being part of the meta for now. So it's going to be interesting to see. And Titanosaurus is going to be so cool. I think it's going to be like edited to be slightly new. It might have new animations. That's what I'm hoping for. I think that could be cool. But You know, because it's got such a long tail in that movie. Surely it's got an animation where it whips something with its tail. That would be so cool. But its first hybrid, the legendary one, is called Titanotor, according to the Daymine. And obviously, yes, these are all Daymine creatures, so they could eventually get scrapped or something. But considering how close Rebirth is coming, I think all these 8 creatures are most likely for the first Rebirth update. And the Spino, sure, there's 3 of them, but maybe we just get 1 to start off with. Who knows, you know? And then we could get the bonus ones in a future update, like the Atrociraptors. They all came into the game separately. We got Ghost first, then in the second update, Red, then Tiger, then Panthera. But yeah, this Titanotor, I do believe the main ingredient is probably going to be Scaphitator. Makes sense because that's a land air sea hybrid. You know, you've got Scaphognathus, which is the air, you've got Diplocaulus, which is the water, and you've got Irritator, which you could say is the land. So, you know, this is going to be so cool. But obviously there are other things like Thylacotator, Spinotoraptor that could fuse with it. You never know. And then we do, of course, have the unique Titanotar. Now, my main thing is, obviously it's going to fuse with Titanotor to make this, right? You're going up, Titanosaurus, Titanotor, Titanotar. So my main thinking is it's going to fuse with Carnotarchus, so it will be called Titanotarchus, and Titanotor obviously is still going to be called Titanotor if it's fused with Scaphitator. But yeah, Titanotarchus, I feel that rolls off the tongue better, but there are other legendaries that could fuse into it, such as Sinocotoraptor. But then again, you know, are you going to make like a feathered Titanosaurus? Or are you going to shrink it down and have really tiny carnivorous Titanosaurs? You know? And then of course there is also Tarbognathus, but that would make it Titanotarbogathus, which is just a mouthful. So I think Carnotarchus works best. You can have like a yellow Titanosaur basically, and for Scaphitator you can have like a red Titanosaur for that. But of course we do have the apex, which is called Titanoth. So my main thinking is if they're going to change up the colors mainly for these hybrids, and it's just going to be edited Titanosauruses, Thorodolosaur is entirely green, and sure, Titanothorodolosaur would be a nameful, but it's cool nonetheless. And Thor really needs a hybrid. It is a fan favorite, it needs a hybrid, and I think Rebirth is the time to give it its hybrid. So a green Titanosaurus would be cool. But of course there are others like Odontognathus, Pantherator, Parasaurthops, Rajadotholus, my apologies, and Segnotherosaurus. But of course, you know, apexes do fuse with legendaries every now and then, so it could fuse with Syntamoth and Talamoth and all those other things. But yeah, those are my 8. We could even get a Gen 3 update after with Quetz Gen 3, T-Rex Gen 3, etc. But yeah, make sure to watch up here for more, and I'll see you later. Bye everyone!